Good morning. It's coffee with all the Crockers today. It's going to be interesting because it's Granny's 90th birthday.
Woo! We're ready to celebrate with her.
We already got our Christmas things out like that, and guess who's the snowflake?
What?
Jason,
that's me.
Yeah, you're drinking out of
Hey.
Got him.
Whatever, I see where this is going.
I didn't even notice that.
This is supposed to be about Granny, not Snowflakes. Gooby's getting beat up by the other dogs. But yeah, she's turning 90 years old today, and she
90 years young.
She said, what?
She just asked the good Lord, said, just let me live to be 90. That's all I ask.
So last year, for her 89th birthday, we did a big ranch rescue and went out there. We fixed up the property and all that. A lot of you guys saw that, fixed the house, and then I guess it was, when did you come down? Probably 2 or 3 days before.
You talking me?
Yeah, you.
Well, we didn't know you were here, so how long had you been out at the ranch before we
The
were
day
out?
was
I guess the day before.
Came in at like 2 in the morning.
Yeah, we did a lot of like landscaping and stuff last minute without anyone knowing, and we just had a big party for Granny. Had a bunch of the family come out, and it was an awesome time. And yeah, it was a lot of work, but to see Granny smile like that, it was all worth it. And we'd probably all do it again. Dad's like, I don't know about doing all that again.
A lot of work.
It was a lot. It was a lot of work, but it was fun. I guess today we're kind of just gonna be about Granny and memories and stuff. And
Pizza bread.
pizza bread is probably her staple.
Sugar
Yeah,
cookies.
boy.
She would make them hoagie sandwiches too.
Yeah.
Good.
She
Biscuits
likes to
and
make that
gravy.
pizza for everybody.
That pizza bread they're talking about, she'd take a French bread, cut it in half, and then she'd
Kind
make
of scoop it
pizza
out
on
some and then just fill it full of
everything
good
you
stuff.
can imagine.
And I made that when I first moved to Oklahoma in the winter
That's
on
good.
my little wood burning
You're
stove.
broke. That's a cheap meal too.
It is a cheap meal, but it's a good meal, and it lets you know how much bread you can eat because you'll eat the entire thing. But that was fun, and then we used to camp out in Granny's pasture, and then
Y'all used to ride
She
Rosie, the horse. I think Matt was.
Well, I've been bucked off every horse that I've ever been on, but Granny would call out to us in the morning, and she would have biscuits and gravy waiting for us.
Granny said,
With
"Man,"
sugar on it.
Yeah, she'd say, boy, she'd just holler out the door, it's ready. Boy, they come look like a whirlwind with
And
all
I had
that
to
dust
climb that
coming.
big old tall fence.
but yeah, that's a Crocker staple is biscuits and gravy, but you sprinkle sugar on top. And anytime I go somewhere to eat for breakfast and I ask them if they have sugar, they look at me weird. And then I always just tell them, hey, you gotta try it, don't knock it.
It's good.
And it's good, it's really good.
Y'all remember flooding out rats with?
I was just thinking that we were at
We were
Granny's.
talking about that the other day.
We were discussing all the birds they had, and that Peepaw had raised, all of them, tons
They
of
had
birds.
quail, pheasants, turkey,
Like hundreds and thousands,
yeah,
right?
finches, cockatoos.
But
I mean,
all
But
of that brought
snakes
rats.
and rats and stuff would come in, and the holes, we'd go out there and Granny would put a water hose in one of the holes and they'd start flooding them out. Me, Jason, Jared, probably Ashton.
Standing around with sticks.
Yeah, with sticks or little boards or something, and we'd try to bop them like whack-a-mole every time they would come out.
That was in the garden. And then even in the little barn part, there'd be some, you'd open the feed, they'd be there and you'd try to get them. But that was always fun. Jared?
Huh?
Memories?
Forts in the living room.
Aww.
Get to do that. Our cousins Leah and Laura. Some of you guys know if you've been around a while. We talked about our Uncle Vance. He's the dentist, and he helped me get the snake boots at first.
Fix your teethies all
yeah,
up.
oh yeah, he fixed my teeth all up. And Leah and Laura, and Leah and Laura, they would stay down there at Granny's, and we'd all hang out. And
What do they call like tent forts or something? Is that where the tent trash started?
I've always been tent trash my whole life.
It was at that point you knew you were going to live in a tent?
Yeah, I just knew at that point that was where my life was leading, was
we
tent
even
trash.
camped in a tent out here on the
Well, that Christmas
back
that
porch. And
Yeah.
out in the-
y'all gave us that tent and it was set up already.
yeah,
We had them sleeping bags.
we slept outside in it.
And then I think we still have huge 6-foot kites
Yeah, they're
upstairs in the closet. Huge. I remember
That
we
Granny
got
did.
them.
We used to
Yeah,
try to
Granny.
hang glide off the dad's shed and think that we could fly off. didn't work.
Yeah, Granny bought them and for us and for Seth and Ashton and them too. We all went out into the pasture and were flying them. I think Granny was the QVC queen.
She
Oh,
was,
man.
yes.
Every time you turn around, the UPS was, loading her up.
She loves QVC.
Go in her middle bedroom, and this is even like a year after she buys it. Go into the middle bedroom, and they're just boxes stacked
It's
up,
like a
never
store.
even opened. And I guess she had to start regifting a lot of that.
Yeah, I think she had an addiction.
Yeah.
One of my memories of Granny is, I sold Avon for 20 years, and guess who was my best customer?
Jason.
Yeah.
Granny.
Well, I guess we could say Granny was definitely a giver.
Yes.
She was always thinking of other people, and it's like even now that she's getting older, if Dad or our uncles or anything are like, "Hey, here, Granny, here's some money for you," she tries to spend it on someone else, and that's just who she's always been. And I guess that's where some of us get that from. I guess is Jared's the biggest giver of headaches, and so.
You gotta give. That's what I'm all about.
Yep.
You're giving them a ration of
Yeah,
crap,
buddy.
huh?
But our plan is we're not going to overwhelm Granny today. She is definitely getting older. There's a lot of family. So we're going to go spend a little bit of time down there. You bought her a cake.
Yeah, we got her a cake, and we're going to go down
You built her a cake?
I did, I built
and
it.
celebrate this morning sometime later with her, and then that leaves her time for all the other grandkids and great grandkids to come and but they're going to do like they just drive up like they did last week. I noticed.
For Halloween.
Yes, Halloween.
They went over there.
My brother's
Well,
kids.
just to drive through. She was sitting
brought
in
her
the
kids
garage.
Oh,
down,
that's
and
cool.
they drove up, and Granny'd sit out in the carport in her wheelchair with her mask on, and all the little kids would just, they had all their masks, and they would come up and talk to her, and she
Megan
loves
had
her
her
grandkids.
family there, and they were just sitting under the carport. The kids were playing, and Granny was watching, but it was
Yeah.
all outside. And
Yeah, she loves her grandkids, that's for sure.
She still has the hardest basketball I've ever seen in my entire life. That real bright
It's
orange
still
one.
there?
It's
Yeah.
still at Granny's, and it's hard as a rock. And we used to kick that when we were a kid, and kind of play like dodgeball and stuff with it. And that thing always hurt. She still has the frog
Yeah.
little wooden cutout that I don't know. One of us bought it for.
Bought it from
Fruity
Tutti
Fruity.
Oh man, that's
I
a
didn't
long
remember
time
that.
ago.
Yeah,
On
so
the
this
side of the
this
highway.
guy used to sit out by the highway
And sell
and
junk.
he would sell stuff that he made, and we bought this frog wooden cutout. We were probably
That had to be young.
over 20 years ago at
We're
least.
probably about 10, 11.
Yeah, and probably 25 years ago, and it's still in our yard. It's
Yeah.
still together, and I saw it last time whenever I mowed down there. I was like, holy cow, like I can't believe it's still here.
she was a big frog collector, and when you collect something, that's what you get from everybody all
Yeah,
the
she
time.
got a lot of frogs.
Santas too, right? She was collecting Santas for a while.
For a little bit. But yeah, she Granny, I definitely think is all about family. When you walk in on her entertainment center, how many photos do you think?
300 at least.
It's so cluttered.
Probably not 300 there.
There,
but
her whole entertainment center is probably about 15 feet long or so, and it's got like shelves on it, and they're just jammed full of all her photos.
And we did make a
knickknacks.
suggestion that maybe Gina could take down some of them, and just leave a few up, and no.
No,
Eh,
she wants to leave that there like it is
She likes
until
it
she's
just
gone.
the way it is.
And
Well, it's
but
'cause
she
it's
said,
all the family.
she said, "You poor kids, y'all gonna have such a mess to deal with when I'm gone."
yeah, and I remember she always had the best collection of movies. All the
She still has them.
VHS. All the VHS.
She got a big box full of them.
She always had those, and then underneath the counter on the right side of the TV was a toy
She still
Still
has them there
section,
too.
and the big old orangutan thing, and then she had the possums. It was a big possum, which I don't know why that was a toy back then,
with little.
but it had all the
With
little
little babies
babies.
on it.
with like Velcro.
That
little
Yeah.
stars in the
later.
back.
That was a joke that I gave her years
It was
ago.
a gift. Yeah.
So
And then Granny had a snake in her bedroom.
yeah, she called me up. come here, come here, come here. So I go down there. She says, there's a big snake in the house. And up on her dresser, she was in the bedroom and she heard clink, 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 because she has like perfume bottles and things like that up on her dresser. And she kept hearing clinking, and she looked over. That snake was stretched all the way across her dresser. And so I went in there and grabbed it by the tail. And
Was it an anaconda?
no, it was just a big old black snake.
You should have just shot with a pellet gun.
No,
Didn't
I-
she have a big old blue indigo go over her feet one time on her front porch or something?
I
like
don't
that?
know. She's
Like she was just standing there and just
crawled
right over.
across.
I think Dad needs to talk about her hunting skills.
Shoot. Oh, talk about dead-eye dick.
Annie Oakley.
Yeah.
What'd you say?
Yeah, she what?
She shot 2 deer.
So
with
she
one
shot
rifle.
one.
Oh.
Were you in the back
Well,
seat?
what happened was my
That's
dad
what happened.
and his friends came out to the ranch and said, we're going to go hunting, and did not invite her. And she said, well, why can't I go? And he was like, well, this is a men's thing. You know, chauvinist. But anyway,
Oh.
she she went, I was a baby. I was only like maybe 15 months old. And we had an old ambulance that,
An ambulance.
Ambulance.
yeah, that we called the Bernadine. And anyway, she loaded me in the back seat, and she took off, went down what we used to call the oil well road, because there was, you know, it's where all the oil wells were. But anyway, and unfortunately they weren't ours. But anyway,
We're still broke.
we were going
We're
down.
still tin trash.
We were going down, or my mother and I was a baby.
He's like, I was driving.
And she saw a buck out about, 100 yards, shot it, got out, put a branch by the road, drove on down the road a little ways, saw another one, shot it, put a branch by the road, and she says, well, I got my limit. And she turned around and she went back and she told the cowhands that were there at the ranch, I got my limit today. They're down there marked with the brush, so I had to go down there and get them and all. And so she told my dad, see there? You cut me out, I got my limit.
I'll go get my own. I
That's
don't
right.
need to be going.
She was just
y'all.
that way, and
But
she
she was a good hunter and all that stuff, but then she is also really big with animals. She has her pets inside and outside. Well, did. So Sam was the
Oh.
parrot. How old was he? Was older than us.
he was over 30 years that she had him.
Yeah.
And his name was Sam. And my brother went over there one day, Vern, and that crazy parrot didn't like us for some reason. Certain people he just didn't care for. My brother went in there to do something, and it reached in to feed him, I guess. It latched onto his finger, and he slammed it down, off of his finger, and it hit the floor. Well, Sam got up, shook off, got up in the cage. Well, the next day, went in there, and there was an egg. So
It was Samantha.
Samantha instead of Sam, all
After
those years,
20 or 30 years.
30 years, and knocked an egg out of.
Okay, well, you
Yeah.
need to, since we are talking about Granny though, but tell that some of the things that Sam would say.
Oh, I would knock on the door, and they would say, "Come in."
That's
But it
what
was
Granny
my
always
mom's-
said.
It was my mom's voice. So we'd go on in. And I'd walk in, and Sam's so smart. He'd look up and goes, "Hello, Jorge." So that's Georgian Spanish. And that's what he would call me, because he knew me when I walked in.
Well, Granny would call you Jorge
Yeah.
too.
And so, anyway, sometimes my dad would be sitting at the end of the bar drinking coffee, and he'd look into the utility room. That's where he was. And he'd say to my mom, he'd call my mom, "Hey, honey pot," like that. And my mom, "What?" Well, after my dad passed away, it wasn't very long after that, my mom was walking through the kitchen, and Sam says, "Hey, honey pot," in my dad's voice, and oh my Lord, my mother froze. She just like freaked out, and then realized it was Sam.
He'd sing happy birthday.
Yeah,
Well, and
Hello,
then
Matt.
about the time David knocked on the door.
One of my friends was a painter, and he worked with my brother, and they were doing some repair on the ceiling at her house. And my mom was in the bathroom, and this was after my dad had passed. My mom was in the bathroom in her bra and panties, getting dressed, and David, my friend, the painter, comes up, knocks on the door. Well, sure enough, the bird says, "Come in." So he just walks on in. He's going to go in there to work. And she came out of the bathroom, was walking into the kitchen. He came out of the den, was walking into the kitchen, and they came face to face. And she was like, you know, their eyes met, you know, and they were like, and she was standing in her bra and panties, and here he was saying, "Well, you told me to come in," you know. But it was hilarious.
And then
Well-
she had another pet.
But before we go on to that, one more thing to finish the bird up. After having it 30 years or whatever, Maudie, the lady
The
that,
lady that's been working for her for a long time.
well, Granny told her, you know, you go ahead and take Sam, you know, and so she took him, and a week later he died.
He died of a heart attack. So I guess after
Broken heart.
living,
Yeah, that's what
broken heart, I
think.
guess, you
Yeah.
know. But he had known Maudie for years
Yeah.
too. You know, she cleaned his cage. She could hold him and everything, and he knew her, but
He just
she
went to a different
She went
environment.
to a different
Yeah,
environment, and she hid
But
whatever.
she also had pets outside. What was the little squirrel's name? Skeeter?
Hooter.
Hooter.
Hooter. Yeah,
Recent.
she'd walk out. If you go to her house, she always had like little breadcrumbs or something next to the door, and that little squirrel would come up and she'd feed it and throw food out, and it'd come up to the window.
Yeah, she said she'd be sitting there watching TV, and she'd hear a little scratch at the door, and she'd look up and she'd see him looking in the door at her, you know, so she'd get up and feed him.
Yep. I guess it's funny, but it's like, I don't know. Of course, we all hunt, we all do that stuff, but y'all raised bobcats, you had raccoons, javelinas, all sorts of stuff.
Every animal down here we probably had as a pet at one time or another.
Yeah, so if you guys, you know, definitely see the videos, you know, the buck the other day that was stuck and, you know, got it out and stuff like that, or, you know, the cardinals, like, to me, that's just crockers, I guess. It's just something that
Go catch that.
I'm gonna catch the hummingbird. I caught a hummingbird. It was in my house.
Show us on your other video about it later.
Anyways,
See if you can catch one.
yeah, but it's Granny's birthday. We're gonna head down there in a little bit. We just wanted to, I guess, share some of the stories about Granny to you guys, because a lot of y'all know Granny, and she's definitely become a name on the channel, and everyone, you know, is always asking like, how's Granny doing? So I guess we really appreciate you guys always asking. We may film some. It really depends on how she's feeling, if she wants to be in the video or not. But if we do film any, it'll probably be on y'all's channel. So if that happens, I'll probably put some stuff out there. But if not, we'll probably talk about it. And
Well, she had been doing real well, and now her shoulder is hurting her some, so it kind of depends today on how she's feeling.
Yeah, she apparently her knees had buckled under her the other day, well, about a couple weeks ago. And when she went down, the girls that were there grabbed her and possibly grabbed her by the arm to keep her from falling completely. And she's been complaining about her shoulder hurting and everything like that. And so we had the portable radiology come down and x-rayed her and things like that. And then they called me and said she may have a fractured humerus. So tomorrow my brother's going to take her in. Hey, that's enough. Hey, who has the floor?
this is
He said, I do.
this is Gooby. If you don't know Gooby,
Right. Well, anyway,
He's been so quiet.
she's going to have a CAT scan done tomorrow morning, so hopefully she'll be okay.
yeah. But yeah, I guess we're gonna go ahead and get off. If you guys don't know by now, we're gonna go live on Friday like we always do. But
That's tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
yeah, we'll be going live on my parents' channel, which is Crocker Simply Southern. Try to put a link down in the description. So it won't be on my channel, it won't be on their channels, it'll be on my parents' channel. Crocker Simply Southern. So look out for that. We'll try to I'll try to put out a normal video on Friday, and then I think you're gonna put a video out. Possibly.
Possibly.
I don't know if Matt's filming it at all right now.
Maybe.
But we got a lot of stuff going on. It's been a pretty busy week, so yeah, we appreciate you guys hanging out and listening to the stories of Granny. I'm sure more will come, and then if we do film down there, then you know you guys will see it on theirs. But yeah, on Friday we will be going live on Crocker Simply Southern. So, happy birthday, Granny! You made it tonight. She got her wish. I think that's awesome.
Yeah, I think it is too.
Yeah. So
It's a long time.
yeah. So hope you guys have an awesome day.